Are you self-employed? In this video, I want to show you what you can and you cannot deduct, because in over 25 years of experience in a business as a CPA, I see the same mistakes all the time. So now let's get started. Understanding your business type is going to tell you what you can and you cannot deduct. Let's say you have a restaurant. Now, if you go and buy food for the restaurant, this is 100% deductible because you have a restaurant. That's a direct cost of pretty much everything you're doing. That is the whole purpose of your business. Let's say you have a consulting firm. This consulting firm is not able and available to take 100% on food. You only have 50% to be able to take it, and even there's special rules along with that. So understanding the type of business you have and then making sure you're following the rules correctly depending on the type of business, you can apply the deductions correctly. Now, most deductions are going to be reasonable to your business, but there will always be these little things that you need to make sure you understand that will have limitations, such as food. Now, let's talk about what deductions you can take that may be ordinary and necessary for your business. Are you working from home? Many people work from home these days. So let's talk about what you can't write off. Rent, utilities, exterminator, cleaning lady, internet. All the items that go into your home that you use during the year should be written off based on the percentage of square footage used for the business. Remember, this has to be something that you use exclusively for business, and you are actually entitled to write off the percentage of that business usage. So here's an idea. Let's say that you have a 10 by 10 room and your home is 1,000 square feet. The 10 by 10 is 100 square feet, and you're going to divide it into the 1,000 square foot of your total home. This is going to give you 10%. Now you can apply all these expenses that I told you before, take 10% of that, and that gives you your 10% of your home office deduction of all your expenses that you had in your home to use for business. Bank interest, often missed. Here's what's going on with bank interest normally. Let's say you have a car that you use for business. This car, you use 50% for personal use, 50% for business. Now, the loan, when you're using it for business, 50% of the interest that you pay on this loan now is deductible. If you're doing your taxes, now you know 50% of that vehicle that you're using for business is deductible. Do you drive for work? Are you going to networking events? Are you going to the bank to drop off checks? Are you going to the post office? Are you doing all these different things? If you are, then you're definitely using your car for business purposes. So now what we want to touch base is how much can you deduct and how to make the most of it. Normally, the mileage rate yields the higher amount of deduction compared to the average expenses of a car. But I do want to remind you that you have to keep and maintain good records. Now, in order to maintain good records, it is important to have either an app or a log. I recommend an app because it makes it so much easier to maintain the information. If you by any chance did not keep track of your mileage, and let's say that this was your first year in business, you can go ahead and make an estimate. From now on, keep records such as a log and/or use an app. I highly recommend using MileIQ. This has really made a difference for me and for my clients. In 2024, you are able to deduct 67 cents per mile if you use your car for business. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take the 67 cents times the amount of miles that you use for business, and let's say that you use 10,000 miles. That's a $6,700 deduction. In 2025, if you use your car for business, it is a 70-cent deduction per mile. Do you travel for work or you go away 50 miles from your home office? This allows you to give yourself a per diem allowance. This is a write-off that is often missed. You're able to deduct a certain amount of money for food and for hotel when you are away from home working. To give you an example of this, let's say that you are going to Miami. Right now, if you go to Miami, you get a $69 deduction for meals and incidentals. You are able to deduct $69 for every day that you stay in Miami. Now, if you do get a hotel, you have also an allowance that you're able to deduct for staying at a hotel. Right now, the allowance allowance for a hotel and accommodation in Miami is $215. So you can deduct up to that amount for staying in a hotel, and then you can also add the incidentals. Remember, if you do not pay for a hotel, you are not able to take that deduction. But the incidentals, even if you do not have receipts for them, you are able to take that deduction. Here are some other deductions that are often missed. Supplies and equipment. Let's say that you bought a camera or a computer before you started your business. You can now make your business write this equipment off because it belongs to the business now. So remember, printers, computers, desks, all of that now can become a write-off. Marketing and advertising. If you're using any kind of advertising, whether it's on Facebook, on Google, all of it is a write-off as long as obviously it is for your business. Health insurance. If you're self-employed, you may be able to deduct all of your health insurance. The use of a consultant. If you use me as your CPA, everything is a write-off. I know some of you want to write off pretty much everything, but before you do that, let's remember, keep records and receipts. Remember what's business versus personal expenses. Remember what's not deductible and follow the rules that apply to your specific business. Got any questions about tax deductions and what you should and should not do? Drop them in the comments. And if you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.